Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back. In this video, I want to refactor this part as well in the logout button tab function. So notice that we are handling the logging out process, or rather the signing out process in this do catch block, which is, in my opinion, kind of awful, and I don't really want to see this kind of code in the view controller, and I'd rather have all this logic in the Auth manager itself. So let us just abstract this. So I'm going to copy this as a reference, and let's come to the Auth manager over here, and I'm going to create another function over here, and this function would be logout user. Okay, so because this is not a async task, I don't have to use a completion handler, and in fact what I can do is that I can just return the result type over here. So in this result type, if this is a success case, I can return a void because I don't need to return anything. And if there's an error case, then I think I'll just return an error object itself. Okay, so let me just comment this code out. Okay, so what I want to do is to first handle the error. So I have to do the do catch block again. So let error, and if an error is found, I'm going to return, sorry, not completion anymore, I have to return of type failure. Okay, and I'm going to pass in the error. Okay, so under the do block, I'm going to do this piece of code here. I'm going to put this line over here, and if this succeeds, then line 48 will be fired. So what this means is that if the signing up process is successful, then I can, I can just return the success case. And again, because I don't need to pass in anything over here, I can just pass in an empty brackets over here. Okay, so I can just remove this reference code over here, and let's come back to the settings view controller. So I'm going to comment out this piece of code over here, and I'm going to do a let result equals to, okay, firstly we need to get the reference to the auth manager. So let me come to the top and let's do private let auth manager equals to auth manager. Let's initialize this. So we'll do auth manager dot logout user, and then we can do switch result, and let's handle the different cases. If it's a success case, then what I like to do is to call the presenter manager to show me the onboarding screen. But if let's say this is a failure case, then we want to display the error on the screen. Okay, but right now we don't have any UI labels to show that, but subsequently I'll show you how we can use a library called loaf to display the error message toast. Okay, so just bear with me for the time being. I'm just going to print this out on the console, and I think we can also hide this animation when this delay ends. So I can just pass this over here, and what I'd like to do is it's going to complain that I need to pass in self. So what I can do is I can do a weak self over here to just make sure that we don't get any kind of retain cycle. And rather than using self, I'm going to use God let this equals to self else return, and I'm going to put in this over here. Alright guys, so I think this should work. Let's have this over here. I'm just going to run the app first, and let me perform a logout. Alright guys, so something is wrong here. Oh, I have to put in this over here. Let's run this again. Alright, so I believe I am already logged in. So let me see if I can just log out using the logout button over here. So I'm going to click the logout, show an animation for a split half a second, and then I'm brought back to the onboarding screen. And if let's say I'm to queue the app and relaunch it again, I should see the onboarding screen. Alright, so guys, I now want to handle this part over here because I don't have any way to show the error message to the user. So what I'd like to introduce you guys is this library called loaf, L-O-A-F. So let me call this loaf swift pod. Okay, maybe let me search for something like that, and I think it's the second result over here. So this is a pretty interesting library. It's a pretty cool library, I would say. So it shows you some kind of error toast like that. So I think we can use this library to display the error message. Okay, so what can we do? We have to firstly put this into our pod file. So let me just copy this. I'm going to come to the pod file, and I'm just going to paste this over here. So now what I'd like to do is to come to the terminal, all right, and let's bring the terminal in, and let's navigate to the project directory, and let's do a port install. Okay, I think this is a pretty small library, so it should install pretty quickly. All right, it's done. So let's come back to the settings view controller. So if let's say there is an error, what I like to do is to just maybe get loaf to display a message. Okay, so let me see what the syntax is. Okay, I think we can do something like, let's see, like this over here. Okay, so loaf. So firstly, I need to import loaf. Loaf is like a loaf of bread, so loaf, initialize this, and then I can select the second one. So for the message, I'm going to pass in arrow.localize description. For the state, then this will be maybe an error, yeah, which is this one over here. The location, maybe I can have it at the top. Presenting direction and dismissing direction, I don't think that is really necessary. You can play with this if you want to, but I'm going to omit this. And then for the send though, this will be the self, which is the view controller, and I have to call the show method, I believe. Is there the show method? Okay, let's see what's wrong over here. Dot. Let me just build this one more time. Let me see if this is okay. Uh-oh, something is wrong. Let me see. Let me just undo this, guys. Just give me a quick moment. Not really sure why this is not showing correctly. All right, guys. So let me just copy this over here. Okay, and I think it is okay to remove these two things over here. Okay, and I'm just going to build this project to see if this compiles. Oh, guys. Silly me. Why? Because self does not exist inside here. I have to put in this. Alright guys, excuse me. Okay, so guys, it's very unlikely that the failure case will be fired. So what I'd like to do is to just maybe show this message upon view. Maybe I can just call this 3 seconds after view did load is fired. So let's do this. And let me just paste this. And I can maybe just put in like, hey, this is some serious error here. Okay, and let me just run this to show you how this would look like. So there's no this anymore. Let's put in self. Okay, let's run this. And if I click on the settings tab, okay, I think I firstly need to log in. So maybe I'll just log in with kelvin@example.com, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Hit the login button. Okay, if I'm to click on the settings tab, I should wait for the message is going to show after 3 seconds. Okay, so 1 2 3. And you should see an error message like that. Alright guys, so if an error message does happen, then you will see a toast like that happening. Alright guys, again, you can play with some of the settings here, whether you want it to be appearing on the top or at the bottom, it's really up to you. But I think this is a pretty cool library to use, and the syntax is really simple. So I'll recommend that we use this one for this project. Alright guys, this is all I have for you in this video. I'll see you in the next one.